Hi, my name is Sydney Hamilton and I'm an aerospace engineer at the Boeing Company. Ever since I was little, I've always been fascinated with the sky. I would look up and just wonder what else is out there. It encouraged me to want to fly. I can remember as a little girl, I would stand outside and try to fly. And my mom and dad would be like, Sydney, no, what about a jetpack? What about an airplane? And I just could not understand what they didn't get about me flying. I, Sydney Hamilton, wanted to fly. And the great part about it is now that I'm working at the Boeing Company, I kind of am flying, just a little bit differently than I imagined. When I was in school, we were able to check out science kits. And I would check them out from the library, and I would go home, and we would do the science experiments together. I'm sure I wasn't the one who cleaned up the mess, so thanks for that, Mom. And my parents would always call me their little engineer. I think I've always felt encouraged by my family because I had a strong interest in math and science. To me, those things made sense. Now, grammar, English, history, those classes were more challenging for me, and that's okay. Unfortunately, not everyone has been encouraging in my life. I can remember in high school, I had this one teacher tell me, "Don't you think engineering is going to be tough for someone like you?" And as a high school student, that just crushed me. I didn't know what to do. I didn't know where I was going. I didn't know what my next steps were because I just knew at the time I wanted to be an engineer. And for someone to say that it was gonna be too tough and that I couldn't do it and that they just did not believe in me really hurt. Luckily, I had someone in my life who picked up on the fact that I was disappointed. It was another one of my teachers. She pulled me aside and asked why I seemed so down. And I told her what happened. And she looked at me and said, "Since when do you listen to anyone, Sydney?" You bring up a good point. And I was so glad to have her in my life because that negative comment could have changed my entire future. And I carried that hurt for a long time, and that was a huge lesson of mine. Because I went to college. I went to Spelman College in Atlanta, Georgia, and University of Michigan in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And then I also studied abroad in Xiamen, China, studying nuclear engineering for a semester. And I graduated, I got my job at Boeing, and I was so excited. I went back to that teacher's classroom, and I was like, "I'm Sydney Hamilton, and I'm an aerospace engineer at the Boeing Company." And he responded, "And you are who again?" And immediately, I paused and said, I have been holding on to this anger and this hurt for somebody who doesn't even remember who I am. A lot of people are going to tell you no, and a lot of people are going to tell you you can't do it. You don't need to be one of them. You need to believe in yourself, even when no one else does. Remember, this is your destiny and your journey. It's your choice, not theirs. If you wouldn't take advice from that person, please don't take their opinion with too much weight. And so it's important that we stay focused on the things that we love and really pursue our heart passion. You're not always going to have the person in your life to remind you of who you are and that you need to continue to pursue your dreams and passions. So on those days, you have to remember, write it down. Write it down on the days that you're feeling great. That way you can refer back to it later. I am working as an engineer making satellites fly. Right now more than ever, we know that satellites are what's keeping us connected. We couldn't even have this conversation right now without it. So to know that I'm contributing to that, it just leaves me in awe. I think that's one of the coolest parts of my job is how I'm directly impacting the world. A lot of people think that there's not a lot of opportunities in the aerospace industry, and that is not true. There's so much to do. Space exploration, you can go into cars, planes, anything with aerodynamics. There's so much transferable knowledge in the aerospace industry. And so it's been so cool to see different aspects of it. I started off working on the aircraft side of things, and then I wanted to see what it was like to work in the space sector. So about 2 years ago, I transitioned over to space. And it's just been so eye-opening to see the different things that we're doing. We're literally 3D printing satellite parts. How cool is that? We can 3D print out of aluminum and titanium. So I love seeing the innovation in my job every day. Right now I work on satellite reflectors. And that's basically the part of the satellite that sends the signal back to Earth. I get to work with not only metallic materials, but also composite materials. Watching the team do their composite layups, watching them integrate the different parts of the satellite together. And at the end of all this, we're launching into space, and I get to be a part of something that is actually in space. Every single day for me looks different. Some days I'm at my desk, other days I am working on the shop floor with the technicians. Some days I'm at suppliers, making sure that our product is being manufactured just how we're instructing them to. And so it's really cool that every day looks different. I think I was surprised at how much writing you need to do as an engineer. Communication is so important in my job because I am taking a lot of different pieces and putting them together to make a final product. And so it's cool being able to see everything that's happening and kind of be the conductor to an orchestra that makes a beautiful piece at the end. Not only do I get to have my name on parts that are flying in the sky and flying in outer space, I also get to help make the world a smaller place. Every phone call, every video chat, every time you Google search, I get to help people learn and grow and stay close to their loved ones. And that is so satisfying and makes me so happy to know that I can contribute to something so big, especially right now. So let me leave you with a few things that I always say to myself. Whenever I'm down or I feel like I have nowhere to go, or I feel like I don't belong, or I'm just discouraged, I say, see the world like an astronaut. Can you imagine what it's like being in space and looking back on Earth? You're probably not thinking about, oh, the burnt toast that you made for breakfast, and this guy was rude at the grocery store. You see the world from such a different perspective. And sometimes we need to stop honing in on those little things and remember the bigger picture. It's not about me. It is about each of you. It is how I can make space for you to continue to grow. It's how my presence can make a difference for the next generation of leaders. This is more than just you and me. This is how we can make the world a better place. Something else I say, I got from Nelson Mandela. He said, I never fail. I either win or I learn. And that is so important. We get captured in our thoughts when we fail or make a mistake. And the reality is, if you've learned from it and you grow from it, it's not a loss at all. And it's now a teaching moment that you can share with someone else. And lastly, I always say, still I rise. I say this to remind myself that even if you fall, every single time you fall, still I rise. Get back up. Get back on your feet and try it again. Most people don't get it on the first time, so don't expect yourself to be perfect. That illusion of perfect is what makes us feel like we're not enough. And I can tell you right now, you are enough. So continue to rise to the occasion. Continue to rise every single time you fall. And as you rise, remember to pull others up. And that is what's going to make a difference.